Do you wake up in the mornings with items on your to-do list and you're ready to check them off and get started with your day, but by the end of the day, you look at that list and you didn't check really anything off? Kind of felt like you had a waste of your day. Well, in this video, we're going to talk about how to do things more effectively so that you can get more done in a day. For the best business tips for entrepreneurs and those aspiring to be entrepreneurs, be sure to subscribe to my channel and click the bell to be notified when I post a video every Tuesday. These tips have helped many entrepreneurs find success in their business and in their lives. And now it's my turn to share it with you. So let's start off by talking about time blocking. So, what is time blocking? Let's look at it this way. If you get a full 8 hours worth of sleep, you're left with 16 hours to plan. Time blocking is taking those 16 hours and chunking out your time so that you have everything scheduled from rise to sleep. The benefit of time blocking is so that you can be focused in on your specific goal-driven task and accomplish more in a day. Time blocking also helps promote deep work. It hinders or stops procrastination and distractions. You also have the opportunity to plan out your work-life balance and maintain that. In addition, pre-planning. Time blocking is all about pre-planning in advance so that you can accomplish what you want to accomplish in your week. The last 2 points, the very most important points, is one, it helps you to stay focused on your goal-driven tasks and it keeps your eye on the bigger picture. And lastly, it allows you to be able to say no because you see what's on your schedule without feeling guilty. Remember, if you say yes to something that is not on your schedule, you're saying no to something that is. That's the cost of saying yes. So you've written out your big 3 in your time management journal, and you've calculated your productivity peak time. And now we're going to take those big 3 and add them to the calendar based off of your productivity peak time so that you can accomplish more in a day. I'm curious. We're talking about scheduling everything in a 16-hour time frame from wake to sleep. My question for you is, if you currently schedule, do you schedule in your self-care, your game night, your date night, time to learn, time to read? I'm just curious. Answer in the card above or below in the comments. So now that we understand the methodology of time blocking, why we do it, and what the benefits are, let's walk over to the computer and let's hop in and actually do a week's worth of time blocking. All right, so let's take a look at time blocking inside of Google. So here we are, we have the whole entire week spread out. So the first thing that we're going to do is to add in our routines. So we're gonna come over to more options after double clicking. So the first thing that we're gonna type in is wake up. We're gonna change our wake up time to 5:30. That's what time I typically get up. And you could do your start and end at the same time. We're going to repeat this daily every week. Every day, every week. And we're going to put this in a routines calendar. So that's the first thing that we want to get in. Take a look at everything. Looks good. Go ahead and save. And now you can see that it's there for Tuesday through Friday. Now I want to make sure that I set my sleep time because I want to get a good 7 to 8 hours sleep. So I'm going to set my sleep time for 10:30. So go to sleep, go to bed. 10:30. I'll make it the same, 10:30. And I'm going to repeat this every day, so daily. Because it's always good for you to go to bed at the same time. I know I'm old. Put this on our routines. list. Everything looks good, and go ahead and save that as well. So now I have my wake up time and I have my go to bed time. So now what we want to do is we want to add in our walking challenge. So every morning I go for a walk for about an hour. I leave at 7:30 and I give myself until 8:30. Usually takes me about 45 minutes. But we want to put that as part of our routine, and we want to set this as every day during the week, every weekday. Routines, yep, everything here looks good. So I'll go ahead and click save. So there it is all week. I got my wake, have my walking challenge, and then I want to also add in prep time for work. So once I come back, I take a shower, get dressed, get all cleaned up, and that is part of my routine as well. I'm going to change this to being done by 9 because I start work at 9. And then, every weekday, Monday through Friday, and then save. So the routine looks good. I want to come down here in the evening. I need to add in my prep for bed. So I like to sometimes take a bath or take a shower, but I have some self-care that I do there. So prep for bed, I'm going to say, what time did I get started? 9 o'clock. So 9 o'clock, and then I'm in the bed by 10:30, because that's by the time I go to bed, go to sleep. We're going to set that for daily. That's part of my routines. And save. All right. So there we are, every night, prepping for bed between 9 and 10:30 p.m. Well, let's put on here self-care, because it's really important to schedule that as well. So it doesn't usually take me an hour and a half to get ready for bed, but you see here, it gives me recurring events, this event, all events. So I'm going to say all events. So that applies across the board. All right. Perfect. So my routines are in there. All right, so we have our schedule, our routine in the system. So now what we want to do is a look at our productivity peak time. So we had it in the morning, we have a little bit in the afternoon, we have a little bit towards the end of the day, right, between that 2 and 4 hour time frame. So we want to make sure that we plug in certain things there as well. But before we do that, let's add in our lunch. That's the last thing that we want to add to our routine, I believe. And let's make that recurring every weekday, Monday through Friday, and save. Excellent. So I did it from 12 to 12:45, so it gives me a little buffer if I need to get to a meeting beforehand. Now let's go ahead and put in our big chunks. So our big 3 we were talking about with our goals. So this is where I want to accomplish big 3 number 1. So it's that big 3 action items that I need to accomplish to push my goal forward. So big 3 number 1. So that's the first one, the biggest one that I need to accomplish. I'm going to do it during the most motivating, energetic time that I have, where my focus is just phenomenal. So I'm going to say between 6 and 7:15. I want to repeat this every day. And right now I'm just doing it generalized. Go ahead and save that. So I have a map. This is the road map for my days with time blocking. So my next time that I'm going to take care of my big 3 number 2 is once I get into the office, from 9 to 10:30 usually is my next kind of peak time. Every day, Monday through Friday, I'm going to take care of that. So that's my number 2. Then my next peak time is generally around here, somewhere between 2 and 2:30. So this is my big three, number three. Let's make that, let's say until 4. Repeat that on an everyday basis, Monday through Friday, and then I'll save that as well. So now I have my big chunks on the board, and you see there's a lot of time around there that's left to focus in on other items. So now let's take a look at when our lulls happen. What do we do during those periods of time? So let's say between 11 and 12, that's a great time for me to handle my emails, other action items that I have going on that don't take a lot of mind power. They just have to be done. Of course, we'll leave that on my business, but if you needed to change it to a different calendar, you could do so right here. You'll notice I did not hit to duplicate that, so I can actually double click on it, come back in and say do it every weekday, Monday through Friday, and there it is. It's on my calendar. The next time is after lunch, kind of a lull before my energy kicks in. So another opportunity for me to do emails or to schedule meetings. Usually meetings run about an hour. A majority of the time you don't have the opportunity to kind of say how long they last because you're being called to a meeting. I did that from 1 to 2, and you'll notice again that I did not do it across the whole entire week. But if you do decide that you want to change some things, you get prompts to be able to change a few items there. We're going to say all events and move that forward for all week long. So meetings anywhere between 1 and 2:15. Probably really realistically 2:30, and then I'll just go right into working on my big three. You'll notice that there's a little bit of time in between my big three and my email action. So don't forget that you also want to schedule some of your time in there for taking breaks. So that'll give me an opportunity to get up and walk around and take a break. So here in the afternoon, I have my focus time. So an hour before the end of the day from 4 to 5. I did that for Tuesday, Wednesday. It could be whatever, action items, focus time, additional meetings before you close out your day. Working on actual action items that you have on your to-do list that may be in your Google tasks. That also plays well here, and I'll show you how to do that next. So here I can just say action item, and I'll click on task, and that particular task, you can add that to your calendar, and I'll add another one. Let's see. Let's add another one here. Just click on task. So you can actually list out your specific tasks instead of just putting a block that says action items. So with that being said, again, this is just a schedule for you to follow, and you can get more granular and more detail in it as you go on. So here's focus time from 4 to 5 and save. So basically this is my work schedule from rise to getting off work at 5 o'clock. So if we look at the next week, you can see that everything just continues to move forward since we said every week, every day. All right, so down here we have about a good 4 hours of free time. Let's prep for dinner. And let's say 5:30 right now, since we're all working from home, the majority of us still, right? 45 minutes to prep for dinner, and then let's actually have dinner with the family. And we'll sit down for dinner about 6:30 to 7:30. Sometimes that varies, but that's, that works for a routine. We'll do it for every weekday and save. You'll notice I only put that on here for once. So let's say it takes an hour and do it every weekday. That looks better. Okay. Now, we still have about an hour and a half in between there, and that's where we can take care of some additional items. So, actually, let's go out to the weekend. We were talking, about scheduling free time. So let's do a movie night. So standing movie night, 7:30 to 9, let's say. 9? Yeah, 9. And we'll do that with the family, so we'll put that on routines. But because it's not a routine, I'm going to change the color. So we can change the color to purple, and you'll notice that it still has that little green bar, but it's movie night, so it stands out. Friday night, let's do family game night. How about that? So we'll do that from 7:30. Yep, Friday. More options. We'll make that purple as well. And family game night. And 9 o'clock. That'll be fun. And we'll repeat this every Friday. And save. So now we have Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday open for the time being. So on Tuesday, this might be a great opportunity for us to catch up on some reading. So let's click here. Oh, and let's read a chapter of our book. Let's do that until it's time to get ready. We'll make that a routine, and I'll save. This Wednesday, let's watch some TV. My husband loves to watch, Netflix and things of that nature. So we'll do that. We'll hang out and watch a show for about an hour. And then, on Thursday, I have a networking event at the Chamber of Commerce. So that actually starts at 7:45 and goes until 9:15. Let me go here to more options. And let me put in the actual address. So that way when I get ready to populate it in my navigation, it automatically pulls up that. And this happens every Thursday moving forward. So go ahead and save that. But that messes up my bedtime. So I need to come in here and do a quick edit. Move my prep time for this event only down. A little bit too much. So we'll say 9:15. And then that just moves my bedtime down a little bit. Yep. And there we go. So bedtime for Thursday night is 10:45 opposed to 10:30. And that's your outline of a schedule. So if you come over here, you can actually toggle off these as a sample. And this is really what my schedule looks like. So between the Lady Executive, which is the business, and my routines, and then the red, since I work a 9 to 5 as well, the red are all of my 9 to 5 items. But you see my Monday through Saturday filled out, and there was a little bit yesterday on Mother's Day. I did just a little bit of work, but of course I still had to plan for my week coming up, and then some of my volunteer work and errands that I run. And you see I've also added in there time to relax. So we took a look at what it looks like in Google. Now let's take a look at what it looks like in this particular app called Structured. So Structured is an app that you can have on your iPad or on your iPhone, and it basically helps you structure your day. It has a daily planner, and it's very simple to use. First thing it asks you when you open it up is, what time do you wake up? So basically the same thing that we were doing earlier today. Then it asks you, what time do you want to go to sleep? So you add that information in as well. And then you hit get started. So this is what it looks like when you first come in, but what we're going to do is we're going to start with a clean page just so that you can see how to time block. And this is on a daily basis, not a weekly like we did in the calendar, but still it's good for planning. So our wake up and our sleep is there. And then we click the plus and we come in here to create a task. So let's get all of our routines in like we did before. All right, so we have all of our routines in: prepping for bed, lunch, prepping for work, the walking challenge, and when we wake up. So now what we want to do is plug in our big three for the day. So we'll click the plus sign and add in our big three. So now I have my big three all into the system. Next, I'm going to add in my meetings, emails, or other action items. So let's put dinner on the calendar. All right, now that we have that on the calendar, we can see that we still have some time in between certain areas. So specifically between dinner and going to bed, you have that time there. Let's go all the way back up to the top. I always leave a little time between wake up so I can get ready for actually starting my day. In the morning, got my walking challenge in. Prep for work, that's in from 8:30 to 9. 9 to 10:30, I'm working on big three number 2. I'm getting things productive. I left a little bit of time between big three number 2 and my email action items. Same thing between there and going to lunch. Have lunch, left a 15-minute window in between lunch and getting to my next meeting. Let's add meetings onto that just in case. All right. So lunch and then meetings between 1 and 2. And then from 2 to 3:30, I'm working on big three number 3. I have about a 30-minute window there again between that and my next meeting. And then my little bit of time after the meetings to work on that. So you'll notice, again, I have time between end of my day and prepping for dinner, so I have a few minutes there to do some stuff. Between dinner and going to bed, there's about an hour and a half in between there where that's a great time for me to read a book or watch TV or whatever the case may be. And then prep for bed and go to sleep. And that's how easy it is to accomplish time blocking. So there are a few things that I want you to watch out for when you are time blocking. The first one is to give yourself a buffer with the items that you're putting on your calendar. You want to give yourself about a 10 to 15 minute window so that your task or your calendar blocks are not right up against each other. You want to give yourself enough time so that you don't feel overwhelmed and revert back to what you were doing originally. The next thing that I want you to be careful with is overestimating or underestimating the amount of time it takes for you to accomplish a task. So you want to overestimate to start off with so that you can understand exactly how much it takes to accomplish a task. And that way you're not running out of time and feeling like you were not able to accomplish anything. The third thing that you need to make sure that you do is to communicate to others that are working with you, especially if you work a 9 to 5. Your schedule isn't always flexible, but you can set expectations through communication. Let people know that you only answer your emails within a certain time frame and that you can schedule meetings at a certain time and so forth. You just want to make sure that you communicate because you're not on an island, and what you do will have effect on other people as well. Lastly, you need to stick to the process, but you don't have to be rigid. Remember, this is adjustable. On your weekly reflection day, take a look at your time blocking for the week prior. If something didn't work out the way that you wanted it to work out, adjust it, change it. It's your process. Make it your own. I've posted a link to all of the resources that I discussed today in the video. The goal planning tracker, the time management journal, as well as the productivity calculator. Please make sure that you take a look at all of them in the description below so that you can get started on being more successful and utilizing your time effectively. I've also linked all the videos in regards to how to use those resources down below in the descriptions as well. Please make sure that you take a look at it. I'd also like to invite you to join the Executive Lounge. This is a community of like-minded individuals who are able to share business tips, network, and celebrate each other's wins and successes. To join the Executive Lounge, click the link below in the description as well. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch my video. Be sure to check out these videos to continue to build business success and get more accomplished in a day. If you like this video, make sure to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe below and make sure to share it with a friend. Until next time, bye-bye.